Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your October reading. Mr. Apollo making an appearance here, welcoming you into your monthly forecast. I'm going to put him down so we can focus. So good to see all of you. Again, my name is Nicholas. We're going to be looking at the next 6 to 8 weeks. You can use this reading for Sun, Rising Moon, and Venus, and you can either watch it at the beginning of the month or as the month unfolds. Each and every month, I like to take a look at channeled messages. They come through dreams, meditation, and also my daily experiences because that is how intuition works. There are signs, there are symbols, and there are basically messages all around us. So for you this month, the beautiful cricket came through. I was spending some time with friends yesterday and connected to this totem, and I knew I was going to talk to you about it today. It's been a while. I was going to say it's the first time in maybe this year that I've actually heard that particular insect. For me, it's always something that represents an auspicious turn. And if you look in different cultures, it usually shows like a financial sort of gain or good luck in general. And this is a good time to focus on finances as well, especially with just coming out of retrograde, just going through the change of seasons here. Now is a time to really decide what you want to do with the next quarter of the year. This is the key pieces to this, I really think, are the thoughts that you're projecting out there. I like to remind folks it's almost like a movie projector. So when you start to look for good news, expect opportunities, and also think to yourself, I am deserving, I am ready, and I am abundance personified, then you start to kind of pull this stuff into your life. So begin to feel like you're turning a corner, and by simply believing it and being open to it, you'll be more perceptive and receptive to opportunities that are already in the periphery. So the next thing that I want to talk about is communication with this totem, because I think the main way that we identify crickets, usually, unless you're lucky enough to see it in the house or outside, is through sound. And it is a beautiful sound that it makes, especially when there's a chorus of crickets singing outside. When there's one errant cricket in your house, though, it can drive you a little crazy. So this is where there's some interesting messages coming through. I like that crickets have that persistent energy. And one thing that can benefit you is persistence in trying different channels. Also, using your voice and not being afraid to sing above the choir or be heard. If there's a loud room and everybody's talking, you can raise your hand or you could say, "Excuse me, I'm not finished," and make sure that you get it out there. The thing to avoid, though, is repeating the same old song, the same old message to the same, possibly not receptive audience. So the repetitious piece of this is keep trying different channels, but don't continue to try the same thing with the same person or the same channel. You want to change it up a little bit. The repetition of crickets, that's the one thing I think we can all universally agree, can be a little bit annoying or grating with it. So other than that, I think everything about this particular totem is great. And that last bullet here, more isn't always better when it comes to messaging. Find the right tone. You can try different things with different audiences, and that's a good level of persistence, but avoid repetition, okay? And I do think that this is a really great time to look at personal development, financial development, and even just your relationship with worth and resources. And let's see if the cards don't show some opportunities for development in those areas. All right, welcome again, Sagittarius. This is for October. It can be used for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Let's take a look and see what the cards have to show. All right, let's take a look at your catalyst card. We have awareness coming through, and that circle is encompassing both the third eye and the crown chakra. And this is a moment where many of you may be leaning into a meditative practice. You might be deepening your connection to spirit or religion, or you may be gaining knowledge. All of these things constitute awareness. But we have a kind of cosmic awareness coming through here as well. So one thing that everybody can take away from this, irrespective of how spiritual you are, is this is a time where you start to see things like for what they truly are, a big picture, something beyond just the surface. It's a great time to do research, and it's a great time to learn. And pay attention to the little things that cross your mind, or the things that you're picking up, like I said, in the periphery. When you start to become more attuned to something, you notice it more. A great example of this in everyday life is like back when I was in school. I remember when I would learn, or if you're an avid reader, let's say you've learned a new vocabulary word, all of a sudden it appears everywhere. It seems like it's in the newspaper, it's on a TV ad, it's at the grocery store. Truth is, it's actually been there the whole time, but you now have heard it and you're more hyper aware to it, and so you can see it. This is what I was talking about, Sagittarius, earlier, which is you have the capacity now, when you start to see like your own worth, or you start to see that there's something that you're interested in, there are new pathways that are now obvious to you that weren't before, and that is simply because of one powerful thing, your awareness. So stay open and continue to do research and look in places you haven't before. You may find that new things are coming into your awareness and into your energy as well. All right, at the center we have the Seven of Pentacles. This card is reversed. This is a reminder not to rush things. Sometimes there's a temptation to want to get to the finish line before everyone else, or to compare yourself to someone else. And this one is basically just about letting things develop in their own due time. This is especially clear if we take a look at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card. Here we can see someone who is wishing that it would just grow faster. For my fellow gardeners out there, you know what I'm talking about. You want something to bloom yesterday, but part of the magic of having something come to fruition, symbolically and literally, is that it's so nice to know that you were a part of that process, and when it does happen, it's like, we earned this, we made this happen. So recovery and growth both take time. Don't rush. Instead, allow things to happen when they need to. And if we look at this illustration, which is kind of unique, it's allowing the pieces to fall as they will, okay? And kind of letting go of things a bit. We do see her dressed up kind of like, a cheetah here. So again, the focus on speed when there doesn't need to be a focus so much. Now, as we take a look at what's crossing the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Page of Swords. It's interesting because the word that came through, the exact phrase that came through was communicate status. And so for some of you that are working, this is about making sure that before a boss or superior or a teacher comes in and says, are you finished with this? You can preemptively and proactively basically give them an update. I used to do this at the very beginning of my career. And I would probably start the workday about 15, 20 minutes before my boss came in. I would sit down, compose an email, and send it to them. So when first thing before they even came to see me, they would see that and it would say, here's what I finished yesterday. Here's what I'd like to start today. Do you have anything to add or edit with this? And it made the morning easier because they weren't stressed out, and they would say, oh, thanks. Yeah, I looked at this. You can actually skip this and do this instead. And it was an easy way to sort of like, show them that I cared and I was on top of it. And then it felt more like it was a partnership rather than them dictating what they needed to have done. And they didn't have to do as much. And I was taking ownership and showing that I cared. So this is a way when you are in a page role, because I was at the beginning of my career very much a page, to show initiative. And I love that we see like all of the sort of mathematics here and all of the sort of details on the wall. And he's very focused. So show people that you've done your homework. For those of you that are trying to illustrate that you have initiative, that you've done your work, it makes life easier. Pages need to listen as much as they communicate, so make sure that you're hearing things correctly. Validate that your communication is being well received as well. It's a great day to write things down. It's a great day to pick up the phone. Communication is key with this. When it comes to a lack, which can sometimes be the issue with the Seven of Pentacles, you can say, I feel like we're cutting this short, or I feel like we're stretching things a little too far, and you basically communicate your concerns. That would also be something that comes through. Everything is possible, or well, almost everything, with proper notice. The more you are prepared and others are prepared, it gives you a chance to sort of make the best possible decision, all right? So that's what I'm getting there, is communicate in advance, whether it's progress or a lack or a question or an inconsistency, whatever it is, the early communication is the key to your success right now, okay? As we look at your deep past, this is kind of what we were just talking about. Some of you are mature beyond your title or your years or your station. As you start to take more initiative and basically illustrate that leadership potential, doors could open up. Look at how he's facing, it's basically the Colosseum, but it's nothing but open arches and open doors. So it's almost like you're entering into this new space where the sky is the limit, right? We're also looking here at Caesar, and this is like that old speech, friends, Romans, countrymen. And basically the reason that this is such a successful speech is because it starts off with the familiar, friends. And so if you can work on relationship building, and let's say you're trying to get the audience of someone who might be higher up than you, a mentor, a parent, or a boss, you're going to start off by making it something that they can understand. Get to understand them on a personal level and try to make it relevant. So the friends piece is key. I remember my public speaking teacher saying what the speech did was basically start off with something personal to something that everyone could relate to, that they were in like of the same city, and then countrymen, even bigger than that. And so it'd be like neighborhood, state or province, and then bigger country. So that's kind of what we're doing here, is going in orbits. So start with something easy to understand and something that you have in common, and gently get further out to where you're trying to take them. It'll make them feel comfortable and like they have something in common with you, okay? Just a little communication tip with that. Ace of Swords in the reverse state in the recent past. Again, echoing the importance of speaking up, but more importantly, making sure that if you promise to do something, you do it. If you have feedback, that it has a constructive nature to it. This is a time where you can also edit, change, or revise. I often look at the Ace of Swords like a pen, like, you know, sort of like you would use for editing, a red pen. And you can say, none of this, some of that, we forgot this. And it's basically going through and making sure that you're comfortable with something before sending it off. Definitely go through some drafts of any sort of contract or speech or product. Iterations are key. You don't have to do a lot. At least do one draft to make sure that you've covered everything and the page came through at the center. Listen to feedback as well, okay? Now, look at all the swords you have. This is kind of exciting. So there's a little story that's starting to unfold here. Healing, and then also gentle growth with finances. We can see communication of status, leadership opportunities, a slight pivot or editing, and now we see a decision to slow down and possibly change direction. Whenever a Knight card is reversed, it is important not to rush. It's important to be very reflective and introspective and look at the facts, figures, research, and opportunities. This particular Knight has noticed a breakthrough. We're looking at him sort of carving out this energy around the clouds here so the sun can come through. It's almost as if he's finding the silver lining, or is able to cut through some of the negativity. And this is really, again, where I think you may be able to lead a little bit when it comes to your actions or communication this month. There may be a lot of negativity or fear or anxiety, or there may be a lot of density. There's too much information. And this particular Knight is going through and cutting through the nonsense and getting to what matters, helping something truly shine. It's worth taking time to make sure that you can see beyond the clouds, all right? Let the storm pass even. The storm could be a challenge in a relationship, some issues at work, your own emotional sort of stability and health and mental health. Make sure that you are in a solid place and that you are clear. The clarity, I think, is the most important thing with this Knight card. get your clarity, then you can move in whatever direction you want to, okay? And try to stay constructive and positive if possible. Both of these cards are saying the exact same thing with different illustrations. The Hanged Man, as many of you know, is not to be feared when it comes in the spread. It's actually a bit of a confirmation. Yes, there's a delay, but for a higher purpose. So in the upright position, it would say, just be patient. It will pass. Things will open up. You will be clear. The reversal of this is saying, by all means, don't rush right now. So you've got two cards that are showing pauses. This could indicate that over the course of, we're looking at October, over the course of October, there could be two little delays or moments where you decide to hit the pause button and do your internal sort of review and take stock of everything and then move forward. Get the clarity, get that sense of neutrality and stability and grounding, and then move forward. The Hanged Man gains wisdom by staying one extra moment, one extra step wherever they're at. Typically, this is going to save you time and energy, and in many cases, money or resources too. It's right by this. So listen, communicate status, ask questions, focus on what's in front of you, and don't move forward until you have a good sense of what's going on. Let's see how you're showing up this month. We have the moon in reverse. This is actually a good way and good position to have this. It's saying that you're starting to feel more comfortable looking at things that used to make you feel afraid. We see this person going into the deep part of the ocean to get to the bottom of something. And you can see that that allows for enlightenment in the forms here of these two lotus blossoms. You have to go into the depths of something to understand something and then bring and share that depth of knowledge with someone else. Make sure that what you're serving up isn't shallow, isn't topical, isn't just the top level, because what's going to set you apart from others is the sort of richness, the depth, the detail, and more importantly, if someone tries to poke a hole in an idea, for instance, you can say, I'm glad you asked that. I also was nervous about that, and I looked at this, this, and this. I've got you covered. Look at the contingency stuff. Look at the things that could be scary. Get it all sorted out. That's why we had, folks, all of these cards here with communicating, editing, pausing, reviewing. All of this, and even this, pausing one more time, all of these things have set you up so that there's nothing to be afraid of. You can take that deep dive and you can come up on the other end and say, I feel good. I feel good about this new direction. There's nothing to fear when you have done the research, the homework, when you have the knowledge, and you just feel good. I was talking to a friend about the importance of moving with confidence, with joy, with passion. If you're not feeling these things, pause for a moment to get into a place where you're ready and you're excited to take that next plunge, that next move, okay? This is also a card that is calling to account anybody that hasn't done or said what they were sort of set up to do. You might also have to look at the contract and say, we talked about this, why isn't this happening? Whenever a Seven of Swords or a Moon card appears and it's somewhere in your spread, it really is about accountability. The fact that, though, this is reversed for you usually indicates that you are becoming more accountable and you might be expecting the same energy of other people in your life. As we take a look at what's going on in the environment, we have the Three of Cups. The card is reversed. Some of you are saying, I need some time off from my social activities, and that's okay if you need to do that. However, the Three of Cups still offers an opportunity to network. It can show new friendships, new love, new opportunities that are knocking. So make sure that once you've kind of like recharged, recuperated, that especially when it comes to important like business, educational, and even just general social interactions, that you don't miss out on something. This is a card that's worthy of connecting to. Now, in the reverse state, there's a couple of warnings with the Three of Cups. Sometimes it can show an exclusive club. So it's a group of people that have difficulty in allowing other people in. You want to be more inclusive and you want to be more sort of open. So if there's anybody that is too exclusive, is just not very inviting that way, that's okay. That's probably better. That sometimes that's like the popular table at a school lunchroom where they just don't want to stay open-minded. Your job this month is to try to open doors and open your mind, open hearts, maybe reach across the table and invite someone who normally wouldn't be a part of a conversation into the conversation. This is also a card that represents gossip when reversed. So especially when it comes to professional sort of matters, but I would say also just social things, go to the source. Don't take something secondhand or third hand and put too much value into it, because everybody nowadays has a platform and they can say whatever they want. Go to the source, get the real story, and don't spread rumors or gossip, and don't engage with it either. It'll just come back and ricochet in a way that isn't worth it. And that's really all I have to say with that. It's a good card otherwise. If you are dating someone new, make sure that they are unattached. And I think that's the last thing that I'm really picking up on this. So now let's look at hopes, fears, and opportunities. We have a beautiful card here with Temperance. Temperance is upright. We see the angel coming through. The angel is subtle. They're right behind the person. Normally it would just be the angel, 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot in water, balancing the cups. But here we see the angel guiding the person to do that. And the whole thing looks almost like one Ace of Cups. Even though we see him at an altar, we see the fire, we see all of the elements starting to get balanced. What does this mean for you? It means that you're starting to find that balance in your life this month. That some of you may be deciding to put more energy in relationships. And maybe you're tired of dating and you want something more substantial, or you're tired of a larger group and you really want to focus more on a one-to-one sort of thing, whether it's teaching, mentorship, love. There's so many different types of relationships, but this is you deciding what matters, finding your balance, finding your footing, because both of these cards can represent that might have been off a little bit in the past. I see a lot of focus and direction and ability to take charge right now. This is shaping up to be a good month for you so far. This is one of my favorite 10 of Swords because it's taken the sort of painful and darker imagery out, and it's showing now that you're in a place where you can reflect on the value of things. So in the upright position, we can see this person rising up. In the reverse state, they're looking at the past and trying to learn from it. It's also showing a lessening of pain. You know, in the traditional card, it's a little macabre. The scene is probably one of the most jarring ones next to the tower, because we see someone with, you know, swords in their back, blood on the ground, but there's a new dawn that is sort of breaking in the background. So here's the traditional one, a little bit more, you look at it and you get nervous. So this one is showing you that has sort of, that's gone, that's past. What we're looking at now is just the sort of emotional scars and the emotional baggage that we might be carrying with us. And this month you have a chance to completely let go. 10 of Swords in reverse is healing. It's focusing on the new day in the background. It's not focusing on this. You take that out, the clouds are clearing, and not only that, remember, we see someone here cutting through some of the density. So I think this can be a breakthrough month for you if you want it to be. A month of healing, a month where if you pause and you're patient, things can start to develop and come to you. This is a time to be really tuned in, okay? Let's expand this a little further. We're going to go into health, wealth, love, and destiny. That's going to give us more clarity on all those aspects of your life. We're going to start with the ground floor, your health. This is mind, body, and spirit. I look at the energy. Obviously, you'll work with professionals if there's something going on in your physical body. So many of you, like me, put a lot of energy into dreams, or maybe you're noticing your dreams are a little bit more intense as of late. It says dream sanctuary, attend to the simple things. What I have noticed in my life is when I don't pay attention to something in my waking hours, it finds a way into my dream space so that I can address it, so that I can heal it, so I can face it, right? So some of you may be saying, hey, Nicholas, I've been having really good dreams or really disconcerting dreams, or, you know, this can also constitute like your daydreams, your dream for yourself. This is a time to focus on them and decide, what is it showing about me? What is it telling me? What do I need to look at? The moon card is connected to that. Hopes, fears, and opportunities are connected with the moon card because it's intuition, basically. So focus on really putting your energy behind what is kind of constantly present in your heart space or in your dream space, okay? Now, take that all out. you can do what I recently did and create your own dream sanctuary. Buy some new sheets for your bed. Get some more comfortable pillows. Replace your mattress if it's been too long. Get rid of distractions in your bedroom. Put a plant like an orchid in there or something. Make it feel like it's special, like it's sacred. This is going to help the quality and the quantity of your sleep. Now let's just take a look at all of the cards here and see what else is coming through. The Ten of Swords is the first thing that I want to focus on. So if there is any chronic pain or fatigue, obviously work with your health professional on that. However, there's some unusual things that can come through because this is reversed. This can also indicate acupuncture or massage therapy, where we're going into places of the body where we feel a blockage or pain, and we are using hands or needles or some other modality to help sort of coax out that blockage or that energy. So that's one thing that is coming through. If you've never tried it, it might be worth investigating. Hanged Man. This can show for some of you stagnation. Maybe you've been sitting too much. It's a different message when it comes to health. It's all in the context. Pay special attention to your foot, your ankle, to all the connective sort of tissue around that part of the body. So again, maybe even for those of you that might have strained or pulled a muscle there, you want to make sure that you're being kind to yourself and you're not overdoing it. And also watch where you're walking, wear a good pair of shoes. All of these things are really good and important to just general health and well-being. The Moon card can represent hydration issues, so make sure that water intake or water retention is being dealt with. For women, it can represent your moon cycle, and with the reversal of it, it could be a little bit more heavier, it could be a little bit spotty, so you obviously want to pay attention to that. For men, it's reproductive systems. So this is a period of time where you just want to make sure. This doesn't always get attended to in a general physical, so make sure that you're also seeing specialist doctors like urologists, for instance, and just talk about all the different parts of your body, especially if anything isn't the way you want it to be, or if something is off a little bit, so that you can find the balance. And that really is what this month is about, is achieving balance and overcoming pain or overcoming blockages. And this is in hopes, fears, and opportunities. So the opportunity is to create balance and to face any sort of fear or uncertainty. We're not getting any sort of negative cards. The pain card is reversed, so there's a chance to ease pain. That's what we want to see, okay? And the fear card is reversed. So sometimes it's good when these cards come up and then come through in the reverse state, because it shows a breakthrough. And that's really what we also see with this, a chance to take something and make it better, or see a blessing, or see a way through. And that's what I see for health, okay? But a definite focus on rest overall. Now let's move from your health card to wealth, which is resources, life purpose, and career. We have the beautiful owl here, and it says, be the hunter, not the hunted. So as you know, some species of owls are apex hunters or predators, basically meaning that they're at the top of their food chain. The things that make owls so effective, because I'm so blessed to be able to cover totems on this channel, because I've learned a lot about the animal kingdom. Owls have chosen to sacrifice certain things so that they can be quiet. So, there are other birds that can fly far or can fly really fast, farther than an owl, but an owl can fly almost silently, certain varieties, not all. And that allows them to basically swoop in, and because of their enhanced hearing and eyesight, they can kind of swoop in and get their prey very quickly. So, listening, looking beyond the obvious, looking in places others can't. So everything we talked about, listening and looking, tuning in, that's the key to success this month, folks. And then acting swiftly when you are clear on what you want to do. So the knight slows down, sets his intention, sets the direction, and then moves in like the owl. So all of the cards came together with this particular illustration. The card is reversed, so it says once you've done everything, then there's a moment where you may still be thinking, well, Nicholas said wait. You'll know when it's time to move. You're not supposed to wait the whole month. It's just saying make sure that you know what you're doing before you take the first step, okay? Don't go to extremes. All right, now simply looking at this as just overall energy and wealth, and also for some of you, career. We're going to start off with universally looking at just money across the board. Seven of Pentacles isn't bad. It's, like I said, growth and recovery. Two good words, two good things. The recovery piece is key though. And for some of you, a temptation could be eating out too much, spending too much time in sort of like expensive social engagements. You can also just play a board game like we see, not well, nowadays nobody really does that, but just hang out together. You could do Netflix, for instance, or you could cook for a group of friends and just enjoy each other's company. So one of the things here is just sort of like being mindful of expenditures so that you'll have enough to do other things like take a trip one day or retire or buy a house. So it's saving for bigger or more sort of like milestone accomplishments and purchases rather than putting a lot of it into recreation and short-term sort of things. I want you to have fun, but that is in the environment. So there could be people or things or activities that are kind of leaking out some of the finances, and you want to be aware of that. All right, let's look at this in like 3 major contexts. I like to start off with those of you that might be at the beginning of your career. So for the youngest, or for maybe those of you that are rebooting your career and just went back to school, maybe after a period of a pause or raising a family, whatever, this is for you. And then we'll get into career. So if you're starting or rebooting your career, what I see here is multiple opportunities, up to 3 different things. I think it's really important to talk to people that have already done this. Something I wish I'd done more of. I did a little bit of it at the beginning. So I hit the job market when basically the internet was a little bit new. I've obviously stuck around in the internet space, but I remember someone telling me, learn about the web, learn how to code pages, learn how things work in technology, and I never stopped. So it was great advice, and it was someone who was stuck in their career because they hadn't done that. So I've never been afraid to embrace new technologies, to upgrade, to try something, to push myself into doing something that I didn't think I could do. So talk to people, take an internship, talk to someone that's just retiring, see what they liked and didn't like. Make sure you get it from all angles, because we have younger, we have middle career, and we have older here. So this is a chance to really tap into the whole sort of sea of opportunity and make sure you're not missing something, okay? Don't take the first offer. Don't move too quickly. Don't be pressured. Don't worry what friends and family are expecting of you. Try to pick a path where it's not a burnout path. That's going to be important too. This should be fulfilling and enjoyable. So that's my advice there, is to talk to people, okay? And to pause and decide before choosing your major or your direction. And even if you're a couple of years into something, you can always pivot. I did that. Again, I actually changed after I graduated and got a different one. So my undergraduate was journalism with a focus in PR and a minor in English, and I decided this isn't going to, I don't really want to work on TV, and I don't want to be a reporter, and I don't want to do PR, but my communication skills are good. I just want to tell stories or report on things in a different way. So I went to film school instead and learned how to edit and how to deal with cameras, and thought, well, I can do this. Maybe I'm going to tell my story by being a director or a producer or an editor. And I am a producer, director, and editor right now. So you might need to add on, and I still use my communication skills. It just wasn't like I didn't stop, and it wasn't once and done. I thought, no, I need to graft something else on top of this to really give it what it needs to really do what I want to do. So don't be afraid to pivot. I did it. I did it many times. I'm still doing it. I'm always trying new things. Okay. So try new things. All right, focusing now on those of you that are in your career. So here's the most important thing. Some of you are really, really ready for something else. This card represents fatigue, burnout, or boredom, or just feeling like you've done it, like completely you're ready to move in a new direction. This is showing me just how experienced and how talented many of you are. And I think it's important to pause and decide what you want to do, kind of like I did, and then make a pivot if you want to. If you're kind of asking me and asking yourself, well, what can I do? You do have this ability to connect well with others. So whether that means workshops, teaching, starting up your own company with a small group of people, somehow giving back to, the next generation, whatever, I see that there as well. I think here, being more mindful of the time that you have and doing important things with it. I do think that there's room for, if you're ready and willing to step up and negotiate, there's a little bit room for more with this. I would be happier to see you at the 8 or the 9 of Pentacles. And I don't think you've reached the sort of top yet. You've got a chance to kind of go further if you want to in your current path, or you can try something completely different. There's many new chapters in your book here. It's just kind of a decision. Look at this Hanged Man. It's all around the heart space. What does your heart want? What is it that you really feel engaged with in this moment? And again, going back to this, for some of you, it could be like something with the environment, something with spirituality, something with teaching. It's bigger than just traditional sort of work, right? And this is a nice segue into those of you that might be retired or thinking of doing something bigger on the planet as well. Definitely this month, we see a big thumbs up when it comes to spirituality, teaching, awareness, planetary health, whatever you want to call it. Like, this is a connective card. So this is a great time to do something bold and something big. We don't have the star, but we have two little representations of the star coming through here. So definitely lean into that if you're feeling the call. Finally, and most importantly, we have to look at this card one more time. It says, be the hunter, not the hunted. When it comes to messages, be the one that is starting the conversation. So if you're waiting for like your boss to recognize you or someone to help you or pay attention to you, don't wait. Initiate it and say, I'm really excited about this opportunity. I've done the work. I'm ready. What can we do to make it happen? Sometimes we have to be that direct and that bold. So don't be afraid to initiate and really sort of like create a case for yourself. It's important for you, though, to know how and why and to believe in yourself when you do that. That's going to be what makes it effective and what makes people listen. All right, so that's everything for your wealth card. In the energy of love, we have the eagle coming through. There are lessons, mastery. So for some of you, you are finally overcoming something from the past. You're mastering that lesson. You could also be in a teacher or student sort of relationship, and it can even be in love, and this isn't always fun, but once you've released the lesson, then you can sort of see each other as equals and move into hopefully a more balanced and more equal kind of energy. The caption says, you're on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past. We're not repeating old lessons. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. And we do see that sort of, there's a crowd in the background. Can you see all the people? So there is an audience, there is an opportunity. There are things on the horizon where if you believe in yourself, if you see your potential, again, that projection idea, others will sort of receive it and be ready to connect with you. There's two other things I want to talk about with this. The eagle is about getting sort of a higher level view of what's going on. The awareness card is coming through here. So taking a step back, almost like with 8 of Cups, for instance, and seeing things for what they are. And then also seeing like, what has this person taught me? What have they taught me about myself? What is the nature of our relationship? Is it joyful? Are we teaching? Are we pushing? Are we nagging? And really sort of get an understanding for that. And that'll kind of inform what the next move will be. Let's look at the 3 different levels of relationship status that I focus on here. Those that are in a relationship, looking for love, or happily single. If you're already in a relationship, I mentioned that when it comes to like partnerships, especially karmic partnerships, there's typically 2 types. There's one where it's just kind of blissful in your partners. There's another one where you're teaching. We definitely have lessons coming through. By the way, soulmates and karmic relationships are not always just romantic, sexual, or dating sort of things. They can also pop up in your circle of friends, in your work, and in your family. It's people that you care about the most. Love is not just passion. It's also platonic, and it's also, familial. So for some of you, that's where this is at. There's a lesson that's going on here, and this is about you rising up, getting that bird's eye view, learning the lesson, and moving on. We have here your ability, like in the past, it feels like you were the boss. In this lifetime, you may not be the boss. You may not be the one calling the shots. And so one of the things you might be doing here is learning from the other person, seeing their value, etc. You may also be in a place where you really need to have a seat at the table and be able to feel like you're an active participant in this. Balance is important. Equity, seeing eye to eye, all of those things are coming through. Obviously, the most prominent element that we see here is swords. Page of Swords, Ace of Swords, Knight of Swords, Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords reversed. So the important thing this month is to talk through fears or anxieties. In a healthy relationship this month, here's what I see. Some of you are feeling a little bit kind of like things are stuck or predictable, and the passion is not where you want it to be. So the main thing that you can do is work on spending a little bit more quality time together, whether that means date night or surprising your partner or asking for what it is that you're looking for. All of those things can be, and in any combination, can be something that you lean into. These two together are interesting. So I'm going to look at it first from a healthy perspective. Again, imagining everything is good. What I'm seeing here is things might have just slowed down. Communication could have gotten a little bit critical. There might even be some arguments or disagreements. So what you want to try to do is add some joy, add some together time, focus on what the common goal is, and try to smooth through that. Okay? Don't be afraid to discuss difficult conversations or difficult topics. And it's not about who's right or wrong. It's just opening up the communication doors, and that's going to be key. Open communication will help you be successful and help you find the balance. Now, I'd be remiss not to talk about the moon and the Three of Cups in reverse. This can indicate a third party that's making things difficult for you. It can actually, doesn't have to be romantic, it can be. So there could be someone who's coming in and trying to shake things up, but it can also be a friend or a family member that wants to come in and tell you what they think is right or wrong. It can also be someone that comes in and makes you feel bad about yourself. If that's the case, you need to be supportive of each other, and this person needs to exit stage right or left. Get them out of here and focus on the two of you. It's very interesting that here in the corner we have both the moon and the Three of Cups. A lot of times this can represent something that you had hoped to sort of keep swept under the rug, but it finds the light of day. It's coming out of the water. And then we have the Three of Cups here. As I said earlier, this can be something that you hear secondhand. It's better to get in front of a difficult thing that you need to say to your partner. It's better to hear it from you. So don't wait. If there's something important, make sure that the two of you have the conversation first. And if there's something that you are worried about people getting out there into the grapevine, it could happen. So don't say anything that should be kept in confidence. Speak to your partner first. Be honest. Anything that you're trying to hide is going to come and see the light of day. Okay? And if and when it does, it's important just to have a heart-to-heart conversation, not to go into finger pointing, and decide which direction you want to go in. Okay? There's no wrong answer here. This is for some of you saying that, especially if this happens, that's it. You're going to go in a different direction, but make sure that you're trying to approach this as maturely as possible. Mostly I'm just seeing people that are maybe burned out, maybe feeling like a little bit of stagnation, and there's an opportunity to shake things up. Okay? So there are different tracks depending on where your life is at. Honesty and communication are the most important things because they're coming through all over the space. All right, if you're looking for love this month, can you find it? Absolutely. We have the Three of Cups in the environment, a perfect card for dating. The only thing that I keep picking up on is somebody fully available? Are you both on the same page? Are they kind of withholding anything? I think it's really important to take your time in the sort of courtship and dating process. So go on a few dates, really get to know them, meet their friends, talk about their past, like get information. And that's key. We have a lot of air energy coming through, so quite possibly you could be meeting an air sign. I think the main thing for you is self-care overall, because this can represent being burned out or having a larger health issue, and that needs to be dealt with first. Slow down the work pace, slow down other things, focus on you, create some space for fun, and yes, you can manifest it this month if you're looking for that. There could also be a water sign coming in. All right, when we're looking at single and happy, I think that's an ideal place to be because there's a lot of room for healing and there's a lot of room to develop your social network. Even though you're not looking for love, wow, can you find some new and exciting connections in your life? Not only that, a lot of creative energy. This is true for everybody this month. You can channel that creativity, that emotional depth into anything you want. And of course, you can then really put your energy behind your personal growth and your financial growth. Okay, let's move on to your destiny card. We have take a step back. Well, we might as well have gotten the Eight of Cups because it's coming through in this card too. The card was reversed. The caption reads, "Thank you, angels, for helping me to step back from what's not serving me." For some of you, what you needed was the ouch moment, and that's what the Ten of Swords is. It's sort of like when I have a prickly pear cactus on my porch. Sometimes when I touch the pot the wrong way, I hit one of the needles and it's like, ouch. Or if you have, a hot coffee pot or whatever, we're meant to feel the pain so we don't continue to injure ourselves. In life, we're meant to feel discomfort or sort of like an emotional ouch so we get out of something before like a tower energy comes through. Slow down, take a step back, see what's helping and what's hurting, and focus on finding the balance and finding the footing that you need, okay? Let's go a little bit deeper now and take a look at specific messages in the areas of sun, rising, and moon signs. All right, let's see what's coming through, Sagittarius. Sun, rising, and moon for October. Sun, rising, moon. 3 great cards in a row. Okay, so let's begin with the sun. We have the Two of Pentacles. Finding the balance, making a choice, not overextending yourself. These are the most important pieces with this. And there should be a clear place where you want to focus your energy. Typically, the Two of Pentacles, we see someone in a lack of balance. Temperance is a card that indicates balance is necessary. It's in the desired action space. Hanged Man can also show a lack of balance. So this is a chance to say, that which no longer serves me, I no longer need in my life. And that's the main thing here, because this card was reversed. Step back and just let someone else deal with that for a while. You focus on you. And I like to remind folks that this is 2 different aces. When you really put your energy into one of the 2, that's when you see traction. That's when you feel this sense of, I can breathe. I'm not so tired. I can rest a little bit more. I can focus, okay? So I think that's it. Limiting one thing or one person or something from your life and just saying, that needs to wait. This is it, all right? When it comes to financial decisions, definitely be mindful of your budget and what you need. And I think in general, you want to look at how is this helping you achieve your final goal or your big picture, okay? Let's move on from the sun to rising messages here, and we have 6 of Wands in reverse. Success. It's still a card of success. It's saying, though, that success is not defined by the decisions, the opinions, and the actions of others. Instead, it's defined by you. Do you feel like you're making a difference? Are you happy at the end of the day with the work, with the impact, with the things that you have done? If so, that constitutes success. If not, then it's time to make some adjustments. It's also freeing you from having to always be perfect. For those of you that have accomplished something great before, you've gotten the gold medal, you've gotten the attention, you've gotten whatever, financial success. It doesn't mean that everything you do has to be 5-star, gold letter, no mistakes. That's not why we came to the planet, and that's not how you get good at something. You get better at something by learning from missteps, mistakes, pauses, delays, etc., disappointments, and doing it better the next time. And each time you get incrementally better. Sometimes we're lucky. Sometimes it's destined. Other times you work a little bit harder to accomplish it. So success is different each and every time. We should never try to just have a cookie cutter and rinse and repeat. This time is different. Treat it differently. And maybe it's going to be a little bit easier. Maybe it's going to be a little bit harder. Either way, it's exactly the way it needs to be, okay? And nobody else gets to decide on the true success but you. And at the end of your days, when you're on the other side, it's really you deciding as well. So lean into your power. Know that you are already emanating the success. It's just about catching up to that moment, all right? Moving on from rising to moon, we have strength. An increased focus on personal strength, health, and well-being, of course, is part of this. This is also saying you are strong enough to accomplish and overcome and deal with anything that crosses your path. If we contrast this for a moment with the traditional card, we can see the Rider-Waite-Smith card shows someone putting their hands in the mouth of the lion. It's a lot more work. It's trying to get them to understand or to agree or to move in sort of like concert with you. And this card, you're just having a heart-to-heart, face-to-face conversation. And they can tell that you're capable of doing all that without you having to do it. It's you stepping into a situation with confidence, with gravitas, and moving the needle forward without all the effort. So believe in your power. It came through in the deep past. Karmically, you've shown me that you've done the work. I think the main opportunity, especially for Sagittarius moon, is simply to believe in your power. And when you do that, walls start to come down, things start to open up, and things start to get exciting. Let's now move on to the final card for today. This is your chance to ask any question that I haven't yet answered. So focus on that. Think of something that you need some guidance on, and let's see what Spirit has to say. So we have the King of Pentacles, which is great. The card did come through in the reverse state, and that carries an interesting connotation. So simply as a card of personal development, this is saying some of you are deciding to take some resources, take some time, take some energy, and focus that internally. And that's your prerogative. You get to do that if you want to, okay? So that is a positive reading of the King of Pentacles in reverse. This can also represent a person in your life, friend, family, member, or maybe even someone that you just kind of, peripherally know. They will take as much as you're willing to give. So it's important this month to communicate status and communicate when enough is enough, so that there's no overextension. This includes boundaries. Like, I can do that, but I won't do this. It's not reasonable, okay? There's a cautionary note to not overindulge or overspend with this card in reverse. But otherwise, King of Pentacles is a great card that is connected with wealth, abundance, and bringing things to fruition. Don't rush. Don't compare. Those are two other things that would come through with that. As a yes or no, it's a yes, but with those cautionary notes at the end about not overextending and not going to extremes. Okay? That, my friends, is everything for the month of October. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, do me a favor. If you could please hit the thumbs up. I'll see that in real time. It'll let me know that this mattered. It will help other people find this video. It's kind of magical just hitting the thumbs up. If you're new, you can subscribe to make sure that you don't miss out. You can also click the bell and basically say that you want to see all the videos. Give me a follow on social media if you would like additional reminders. I'm on all major platforms. It's always my full name, no extra characters, spaces, or misspellings. So if you need any clarification on that, you can also go to my website or the main channel page here on YouTube. As a quick reminder, I don't give private readings. Anybody that's offering one isn't me. Anyone that's direct messaging you isn't me either. So don't fall for those sorts of things, because there's a lot of people out there that, they try to do that. I would like to remind you, if you would like to give back, you can do it officially through this channel by becoming a member, by giving super thanks, super stickers, or by also joining on the live streams every Sunday. To that end, I am here dropping monthly videos on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I do a weekly one every Sunday, and you can also check out my daily ones. It's under the Shorts tab. Thank you so much for deciding to spend some time with me today. I know you have a lot of choices here on YouTube, and it means the world that you decided to work on yourself. Spend the last 50 minutes or so with me, and again, I hope you found some value here. Until I see you again, wishing you all the best. Take care.